Hello class, in this video I'll be showing you how to use fundamental identities along with the properties of trig functions to solve a trigonometric equation. Let's begin. So we want to solve sine squared theta is equal to 6 times the quantity cosine negative theta plus 1. And we want all of the solutions to be between 0 and 2 pi. Now up until this point, each equation had the same trig function in it, and this equation does not. There's a sine squared and there's a cosine. So we either have to convert sine squared to an equivalent expression with cosine, or we have to convert cosine to an equivalent expression using sine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose to convert sine squared to an equivalent expression with cosine because we have an identity that relates sine squared to an expression with cosine. So over here to the right, I am going to solve sine squared and see what we get. So sine squared is equal to 1 minus cosine squared theta. So what I can do is I can replace sine squared theta with 1 minus cosine squared, and you'll have an equivalent equation. Next, notice that the thetas don't have the same coefficient. In the expression on the left, it's positive theta, and the expression on the right, that is negative theta. But what do we know about cosine? Well, we know that cosine is an even function. So that means that the cosine of negative theta is actually equal to cosine theta. So I'm going to replace cosine of negative theta with cosine of theta. And now I'm going to distribute the 6 and then collect all of the terms to one side of the equation. Okay, now we can solve this by factoring and writing this trinomial in factored form. That is cosine theta plus 1 times cosine theta plus 5. And for this expression to equal 0, either cosine theta plus 1 has to equal 0, cosine theta plus 5 has to equal 0, or both. Solving the equation on the left, you'll have cosine theta is equal to -1. And the only angle on the unit circle where cosine theta is equal to -1 is pi. Over here to the right, cosine theta has to equal -5. But -5 is less than -1, so there's no real solution. Therefore, there's only one solution to the original equation, and that is theta is equal to pi.